Order filled.
I'm not sure if you want to be sharing your screen or not, but I'm not seeing it if you are. Oh, yep, that is good now. Thanks. No problem.
Stub filled. Order filled. Stop filled. Order filled. Order filled. Stop filled. Order filled. Stop filled. Stop filled. Stop filled. Stop filled.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, text me when you're about 15 minutes away from here, brother. We can do, let's see, that'll be 9, 10. I don't know if Not Your Mama's is going to be open to be. They don't have any coffee shops around other than the New Roads. Yeah, I'll tell you what we can do, brother. Let's go ahead and meet at Not Your Mama's, and if they're not open, I'll take you right down the road to a coffee shop, to a breakfast shop. Oh, that'll be great. Thank you, brother. All right, brother. All right. Yes, sir. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I had to take a call. All right. Sorry about that. I had to take a phone call. Let's see. So price has touched the Tinkinson. Now we're looking for our safe re-entry of this is whenever price surpasses the last kiss dot. You can also, as an aggressive trader, if you want to get short on that, typically the body of the candle right there. As long as that's below the Tinkinson and price closes below that, you can typically re-enter to the short side. If the rest of the Ichimoku and your other confirmations are giving you that. Right now, I'm looking at the Chikao Trail. Doesn't look like the best entry, guys, because we got the VWAP right there below us. And remember, we talked about price panning at VWAP. I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm at right now, and I'm thinking we're just going to chop right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn these off for that reason, guys. I'm ahead. There's no sense in risking this. If you look at the Chikao on a 3-minute chart, let's go ahead and pull that back up. Let's talk about what I'm looking at, just so you'll know. Let me see, where did I put it at? I parked it down here. And I need to turn the Chikao. Is the Chikao on this one? Yeah. Look at what I'm looking at, guys. I'm looking at this purple line, this magenta line. That's a Chikao. It usually follows in line with the price above its curve. This is the price curve up here. Notice how the Chikao came down. It came up, came down, came up. Look right here. Up, down, up. It's following this price curve right here. In all actuality, being pinned here at VWAP, chances are, and you look left, you look at your highs and lows right there, you got a little range right there. And really, until you really break out of that little range, it's not very, you don't have as much opportunity. What I typically do is I'll come back here, and not exactly at this moment, but in this particular case, it should be fitting. There's a procedure that I have that I typically do this, but you can encapsulate the highs and lows of that Chikao right there. Really nice, clean. You got clean lines to look at. Take that Chikao and draw you a range. Until we break out of that Chikao, if you're ahead, there's not really a whole lot incentive there to get into anything. maybe a little money, but I could have also lost a little money on that as well. It would have entered right here. Now we do have some room to the upside here on the lower B4 indicator. It can make it up to the negative, to the positive, positive 3. If it does, it'll be pushing out of its normal progression here and pushing on up. Excuse me.
When you say positive 3, is that on the B4 indicator?
Yeah, that's on this lower indicator. Let me. I usually don't do. I'll tell you. Let me pull up the other chart. No. I better do it on this one. Let me do this. I usually don't do this because I keep my chart so symmetrical. Let's look at this lower B4 indicator right here. See how I have 210 right here? Only now I don't, and this is just the ES and 210. I don't know any other. This is what I trade every day, so I don't know the other parameters. But only ES. See this little line right here? Yep. When it gets up, I don't chase it. When it gets into the 2s, I don't chase it anymore. There's no more adding to the trades or nothing like that, unless we got something I see on the chart that really is calling my name. Other than that, I don't add. I should have been in the trade before that. And I don't add to the trade, especially like this right here. That's bearish. I need to be guarding capital. I don't need to be adding to capital. I need to be guarding capital. That same thing here. It agrees with this. After 2, I don't want to enter no more in that trade anymore. I got to wait. I got to sit on my hands. Or if I'm in the trade, I need to be guarding. And we're looking for it to hit 3. It'll usually stop right out at 3. And then the other point that we're interested in, sometimes it'll have a pullback and it'll bounce at 2, or it'll be a retracement from the other way and a continuation I've said 2, at 0. So the 3 places to look on this free indicator with these 210 bars is 3, 0, and -3. Those are your sweet spots. You can just about base all of your trades on that.
What are we looking for at the 3 and -3 spots? Is that a reversal?
Those are typical reversal points, correct. Okay. After 3, you don't. After 2 or -2, you don't want to be chasing that position. You want to be guarding that position. As a general standpoint, as a general guideline. If we can go back and look, well, it rotates. It doesn't. You can't really get a good historic view on it. But whenever you go historically and look at it, you're gonna see the same thing I am. 3, -3, 3, -3, 0, 3, -3, 0. You're gonna see those over and over and over again. In fact, since we didn't get in this one, let's just watch it. Notice how your B4, lower B4 bands are tightening up now. They're starting to narrow up. They were widening here. That's where your volatility was. Now they're starting to slope down a little, and they're starting to get narrow. And your histogram, you've lost momentum. This is bearish. You should be guarding here. We use the B4 footprint here so we can see these important levels inside of the candles and know where to guard at. We know these points of control, especially when they're virgin points of control, are key points. Well, price will revisit. So here, my stop loss would have been right there. I'd have been taken out right there. If I'd have had enough, depending on the money that I accumulated there. Now, look at where we came up to. Right here under 3. We cross over, we're looking for the bearish position. We're going into a squeeze, we're looking for another breakout, a breakout to the downside. Now, if it doesn't, you got to be a little careful with these. When they squeeze and do this, you got to make sure you typically break the bottom band with this trend line here. Aggressive entry is whenever you catch the curl and you load for a short under that candle or under the body of that candle, loading right there with a position right here to entry. That'd been aggressive. Some traders turn off these bands and only use this trend line and this midline and use the midline cross as their entry. They're satisfied with that as their confirmation. Knowing how to properly use the B4 indicator is very vital. A lot of people like, I love your indicator, but it's not that accurate. As accurate as my hyped up RSI or my Williams percent R or my awesome oscillator or my stochastic with a 1233 hyper setting on it, all that stuff. Well, they just don't know how to use it. They're looking for a buy or sell signal to be generated. And those buy and sell signals are very conservative on the B4 indicator. They don't catch the absolute top and bottom. But the indicator itself, if you know how to use it, is very, very accurate. Let me get this back to normal here. Oh, that was a little low. All right, looking for some bearish activity here. There it goes. I'd have been able to lock in. I'm just not trading right now. I'm on my head. I'm just going to let it stay there. I turned everything off. I'll just talk a little bit here before I have to go. I have a meeting I have to attend to. And I'm satisfied, content with where I'm at. Any questions, you feel free to ask.
The long you took earlier, what was your determination to buy green since everything was showing bearish? And I didn't get in until after a DK cross, so I missed a lot of the move.
Hey, that's awesome. Great question. So what I was looking at, so we were trucking down here. All right. And I was looking at some of our I have another supplementary chart that I'm looking at. And that other supplementary chart is giving me some POCs, points of control from high volume levels where a lot of price is traded. And I was looking at that, and I just happened to look over at my chart and over here, and I realized, wait a minute, we're past VWAP here. And then I was -3 or so on my B4. So everything, all my little alarms were kicking in place. Everything that I had, except for the overall HUD on the B4. See, overall in the long term, we are bearish. But for the immediate, we've already had a big sell-off. We've had a lot of it. We've exhausted the move to the downside. And I was looking at the size of the candles too. Had a big, large candle, then a smaller candle, and smaller candle. So I was looking at the size of the candles. Progressively, they've gotten smaller. The move is starting to exhaust. So I'm looking for an opportunity for some buyers to step in. We have already made enough sell-off. I'm looking for the opportunity for some buyers to come in and pick up some of that discounted price. All those factors together, and plus the size of the candles, the volatility. So if we did start buying, I knew I'd probably at least have enough time to get in and lock in. So I went ahead and did that. I used my discretion on the and use the buy green on our CoPilot Pro here, the trader section. And we came down and we wicked down right to the value area low of a previous section. I'm starting to use a lot of the volume profiles. And of course, that was all aligning with what I was seeing on the lower B4 indicator. So, of course, that gave me more confidence in that. The reason why I've been staying out of this is just because I'm just expecting it to dance sideways. And that's what it's been doing, even though we've been having some movement here. Nonetheless, it is basically chopping sideways here. And look right here. Look at where we're wedging in right here. We're looking for a good breakout here, a good solid momentum move. Now, let me pull up something real quick. I'm going to show you my expectations to the downside. Let me show you what I'm looking at. I need to pull up my chart. I'm looking for this to break hard. So this is a good opportunity coming up, in my opinion, what I do, the way I trade. Cheek out trail. See our little cheek out right here, the purple line? Okay. Notice what it's done. It's come up. There we go. Up, down, up, down. Now it was going up a little bit. I'm looking whenever cheek out. This is the cheek out. See this major momentum candle right here? When it comes in and gets in line with that major momentum candle, it will usually file suit. I'm looking for a huge move to the downside. I expect price. We don't have the great drawing tools here with Ninja. Sorry about that. But if I could draw a free line here, I draw a line price coming up into this nook here and hitting hard to the downside. That cheek out will very rarely just dance through a crossover a large candle like that. It usually responds in kind. Now we are one candle back with the cheek out is actually facing down now. We're one candle back with the Ninja Trader here, the way that it does it close, at candle close. So we're not seeing it live, but it's going live and it's doing it this launch point right here. And it's already filing suit to the downside. There it is right there at that launch point. Each of these highs and lows that you see in previous price action, they are trigger points, potential trigger points in line with this cheek out. Keep that in mind. Those are all potential trigger points. Our expectation, you see the height I am from here to here, right there to there. My expectation is for that cheek out to go from there to there, which means price. My expectation of that, just looking at the cheek out trail, is for price to come on down to here somewhere. We got to break that major level there at the 58.14. Remember I said keep an eye on the zero line. Price came up, found resistance, not quite at zero, but at 2, -2. We expected it to come up to about zero before it would turn down. It turned down a little early here. I'm thinking for a healthy move to the downside, we need to bounce here. Let this B4 indicator recalculate, maybe get back up to zero, and then hit another hard move to the downside. It doesn't have to, but I usually look at that for a healthy move to kind of judge whether a move is going to be healthy or extended. If I miss it and it gets extended, then I'm going to look for catching it on the backside. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today, guys. If there's no more questions, let's wait and see what it's going to do here. We're at support here, potential support. We're squeezing. Cheek out trail kind of partially worked out. Let's see if we're going to get a little bit of a buy, maybe to our zero. We are very extended on this move. It's really pushing here. It's going to come down to our bear line probably right there. Let's see. I don't see anything looking left. We probably don't have anything there. I was going to open up these candles and look inside the internals of the candles, but there's nothing that tells me to look there, so I'm not going to do that. This is a major level, a major support. And there was our buy. Now we're at the top of our volatility band and we're at the bottom of that bracket. 1.09. We should possibly start slowing down a little bit. We're going to push. Next levels we're looking at, let's just zoom in there so we can see the levels. Virgin point of control right here. With its value area. Now, if price rejects there, and we get some sell side activity, all these areas have been touched. They're not virgin. We could possibly break the support. Overall, with Ichimoku, we still have bearish sentiment. We do know that the average bearish pullback is about 52%, and the average bullish pullback, bearish retracement, rather, is around 52%. The bullish pullbacks are around 26%. Now, it's a little bit different from that, but those are numbers that I commonly use in Ichimoku, and it's close enough to those percentages, so I just round them off because it makes it easy for me to remember. Because those are prominent Ichimoku numbers, and I am a huge advocate for Ichimoku. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Y'all have a great day. I'm going to be signing off now.
All right. Catch you later.
All right. Thanks, sir.